water change day. Let's get straight into it. So what I've got here is a siphon connected to a long hose because my room is in the garage, so I can just run it out the garage door straight outside, which makes it nice and easy for me. So this tank hasn't got too much algae. There's bits and bobs here and there, but it's not too bad. Nothing that I should want to get out really, because I've got suckfish in here, so that will help them with some food source anyway. So I won't bother cleaning up the bit of algae on this tank. But if we look over here, this tank has got a lot of algae that needs dealing with because it's hard to even see the fish at this point. So first step is going to be draining the water, so let's get straight into that now. And then now the other side of this hose is outside. All I do is do that a couple times. We do this here and the water gets over the bends, and that is now flowing and that is now sucking up water. So I can show you this by, if you see here, the gravel is coming up. So with this siphon I can go in with the gravel like this, and if I come up fast enough then it can just get all the little bits out of the gravel but not suck up any gravel, which is what I want. And if it does suck up a bit too much gravel, all I have to do is pinch the tube with my finger here, and that does it perfectly for me. And I just go through here now, getting a load of crap out of the sand as we get around. So let me set it up on the tripod now and I'll time lapse this. And that's probably just under 20%, but I did a water change not too long ago, so that'll be fine for now. So that's how much is coming out, barely any. So we'll stick that there now, let it fill up, and we'll put some aquasafe in. So I have taken away probably, so you need to add 5 ml of this for every 10 litres of tap water I put in. So I'm probably putting in, let's say 25 litres. I'd prefer to overestimate it because you can literally triple dose your tank with this and they will be fine. So 25 ml of water, so that means I would need, so let's say 30 litres of water, so I'm going to need 15 millilitres of this. So let's measure that out now. And there we go, that will do. So let's stick this in the water now. So that bit is sorted and that is working perfectly. So let's start draining the other tank. So let's start draining this tank. I can't do that thing that I did before by forcing the water down, so I need to go suck on the other end. So let's go do that now, which is so much fun. This fun bit. There we go. Let's go back and clean the tank. Lovely. Hose pipe tastes amazing. Right, so I'll stick in a time lapse of draining this one now. So there's quite a lot of crap in this tank because this tank gets fed quite a lot because I am trying to grow out some fish. I'm going to quickly bend this just because I need to scrape this before I completely drain it. So I've got a card here and let's scrape this algae off the tank. Right, so all the algae is off the front and this side. This side and the back, I'm going to leave it like it is because it does actually help the aquarium to just be more naturally benefited. And it doesn't look terrible anyway, considering how plain this tank is at the moment. So I'm leaving the bottom and the sides. I just want to be able to see my fish better. That was quite strange. I might have got some sort of plug. Quite dirty and dangerous. Okay, whatever just happened is now sorted, but I think I had too much stuff running on in my room because I had the heater on as well. So I've only got 2 plug sockets in my room, so I've got extension leads everywhere, so I think that might be why. But I think I fixed the problem, hopefully. So let's carry on draining this tank. And there we go, about 20% there, all done and dusted. So all I need to do is pack away the hose pipe now and carry on filling up the tanks. So this tank has dropped temperature by a degree, it's sitting about 28 degrees, this bigger tank is now. So that's slowing up slowly, that's filling up slowly. So what I do now, I give this tank a break from the cold water and put a bit in this tank. So I just pinch the end so I don't get it all over my room, and then have it getting in there for a minute. 5 mil of tap safe. We'll go 10 mil just to be safe. So let's look over here. And let's stick this into this tank. And for everybody who watched last video, this tank have got white spots, but I've been treating this every day. Today is the last day of treatment for this tank, and the fish are looking absolutely amazing. I can't see any white spots, but it's the last dosage and it tells me to do another dose today. So today will be the last day of this gaining, and I also have been dosing this tank up as well. I didn't see any white spots. I think I saw maybe one on the clown loach in there, so I didn't really want to risk it, so I thought I may as well dose that tank as well. It can't do the fish any harm. So here it is, and let's put the dosage and the right amounts into this water now. Next up. And for the bigger tank, and I'll put it right into the flow of the water so it gets blown about straight away. And that will instantly go very blue, and it slowly turns into a greeny colour. Basically calms down the fish and kills any parasites or even fungus slowly off any of the fish. So that's sorted, and this is sorted. So this can go away in the fish tank cupboard. So yeah, I'll just do a time lapse of me slowly filling up this tank now and swapping the hose between each tank. So as you can see, this tank's getting a bit cold now, so I'll swap it over. Pause the time lapse. Right, so let me just run you through some fish that I have in these tanks, because if you haven't watched any of the previous videos, you're probably thinking, what are even in these tanks? There's a very odd assortment of fish. So here, my favourite fish. I know I'm not meant to pick favourites, but this is my favourite fish out of every single fish in these 2 tanks. And this is a ground tank for him. He's not going to be in this tank forever, and he's definitely not going to be in this tank forever. So before I tell you what I missed, don't go in the comments and slate me, because he's in too much of a small tank. He's in a ground tank just to get him a bit bigger, so the big Oscar in here doesn't bother him. So this is a peacock bass. And I don't know what type of peacock bass, because I've had a few questions like, what type of peacock bass is it? I don't know. I didn't know there was different types of peacock bass until I did a bit more research and find out. But I'm sure I have a picture of the label the label and the price from the pet shop. So if I can find that, I'll put that on the screen now. But yeah, he's a peacock bass. My goal is to eventually get myself a room just for fish tanks and do him a little indoor pond with some other predatory fish like some silver arowana and Oscars, maybe some red-tailed catfish, but we'll have to see what we can do, and maybe some stingrays. This is all dreaming, but he will go into an indoor pond of some sort or a huge as tank. But for now, he's in this tank, and when probably literally in a couple weeks he will go into this tank and have a lot more room. And also in this tank is the white albino tiger Oscar, because he was also getting picked on by the big bully Oscar in this tank. So these 2 are in here. As I said, they both won't be in here for much longer because they do need the extra room. But I'm just power feeding them at the moment so they get a bit bigger, and these 2 got white spots. So I was mainly treating this tank, but I decided to treat this tank as well just to be safe. And there's also 2 little guppies in here. And one guppy went missing the other day, and the Oscar's belly was looking a bit big. But to be honest, I didn't really know what to do with these guppies anyway, so they've kind of just been chilling in here anyway. And there was 2 tetras in a little tub that both died from the white spots. That's why I rushed and got the treatment straight away, but unfortunately they didn't make it. But every time I do a water change, Mark goes grumpy, his colours go. He sticks to the bottom of the tank. It's really funny to see, to be fair. But he's coming over now, and all his colours have gone off his face, and he just looks very grumpy. I'll show you close up. So as you can see, his colours aren't fully there. It's hard to tell on camera. He looks a lot more black on camera, but he's greyed out a bit, and he's just gone a bit grumpy. So all his fins are clear. His fins were nipped as well before by Mark, and they fully healed back, which is absolutely amazing to see. So this tank is completely full now, right to the brim. So now it's this one's turn. He's got it right to the brim.